Einen wunderschönen guten Abend hier am Dienstagabend. Endlich mal wieder Rennaction hier bei mir. Und ja, wir sind zum zweiten Lauf der Apex Online GT3 Crossplay Championship hier am Start und freuen uns auf ein spannendes Rennen. Moment. Noch nicht so gefüllt die Liga, wie das die Veranstalter gerne hätten, aber sei es drum, die Saison geht ja noch ein bisschen und vielleicht kommt ja dann noch der ein oder andere dazu. So, hello and welcome to the second round of the Season 10 of the Apex Online Racing GT3 Crossplay Championship here on consoles. On Assetto Corsa competizione. And after we started last week in Indianapolis, we are the second time in the USA. This time you can see it a few times at the circuit of the Americas. And let's see if it's another good round for example, Paul, who is our current leader. So it's the first time since a long time that not Martin or Jared are leading the competition here. And let's see if I think the mate of Jared and Martin is able to stay in the lead, or if we see the comeback of the Apex or the two angriest sim racers alive, how they called themselves the last seasons. And right behind Paul we have, I think, Martin in second place. Yeah. After a quite interesting comeback last week. So we just saw the crash between the two former teammates. I don't know if they are teammates this season. Something I couldn't figure out still now. But yeah, in the first lap we saw the contact. Martin wasn't able to brake in the right time, and so he hits the Ferrari with the number 14 and kicked him out. And then we have a big damage from Jared during the whole race, and he wasn't able to come back. And after Gabriel was in the lead for quite a long time after the pit stop, he fell back behind Paul and was overtaken during the last minutes. So he is our current number 3, let's call it like this. So at the moment we have the Ferrari with the number 10, followed by the number 13 and the Mustang. And on third place in the championship standing we have Gabriel. And then we have the next Dutch driver, but I think he's not here today. So Joop Overbeke isn't able to defend P4, for example, against Mr. Overtaker, who is here with the number 77. And then we have Timo Westerhof, which is number 6 of the current championship, and I think the third Dutch driver in the top 6, and he's followed by the next Dutch driver, and this is Jeffrey van Buren, who is currently P7, right in front of the Scottish driver Archibald. But I think also Archibald isn't here today. There he isn't. And so Jared have the chance to win some positions without fighting directly against them. He's currently P9. And then we have Martins on P10, but he's also not part of this race today. So I just saw some new drivers, but we have X-Guilds, currently P11 here with the number 44 in the Ferrari. And then we have Ross Harris. Oh, and here we have Martins, sorry for this. Here we have P10 in the championship standing with the number 722. Oh, goodness. And then we have Ross Harris. He's also not part of this race. And then we have Pereira, who isn't here today. Mac Mazur, the Polish driver. He's here with his BMW. Followed by Viktor Barczak, the other Polish driver. But like I see, we have Lane and Diego, but we don't have a second Polish BMW today. And then we have Pascan, one of the two AMG driver last week, but he's not here today. We only have Kurva, the second Romanian, I think not the second Romanian, but I think it was the Romanian driver. Oh, and why isn't he part of the championship standing? I'm a little bit confused. Maybe he was not able to finish the race. No, but we have Lane, Lachko and Hughes who did not start. No, and we have Forberg, Slater. Only we have Forberg who did not finish the race. Okay, interesting. But let's have a look. So we have Jared in today's race. Currently P1. Let's see if this is also the final result. Would be good for him after P8 last week. And then we have Catherine Lane. I think it is Catherine Lane. Yeah. I think from Canada, yeah. And to be honest, I would like to tell you if it's a guy or a girl, but I don't know. So, hello, driver. So, and we have the first timings by Vermeulen and Overtaker, and we have someone who did a great job last season. The next Dutch driver, Guido Christ, again with the Porsche. And let's see, he could not start last week, but at the moment he's P2 with a big gap between him and P3, which is Overtaker. And then we have Martins. Okay, and Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Maybe it's Jose Miguel Martins Pereira. I don't know. Okay. Just wait, did we have Martins, J. Martins and Jose Miguel Martins Pereira? This would be great. Yeah, we have... Okay, you're not... What is this? We have two drivers from Portugal. One is Jose Miguel Martins Pereira and the other one is only Jose Martins. Okay. Sorry for this. And we have a new driver. Okay, I don't know that this is new driver, but I'm a big Audi fan and I would know if we had an Audi in the last seasons. So welcome Klonowski. I would like to tell you something about this guy. Besides that he have a good taste talking about cars. It's Kasper Klonowski. Can't tell you anything more. So let's see. And we have another new driver. Or not really new, cause at least I know him. This is, I think, Alexander Popov. No, it's Asen Popov. And just wait. It's the Bulgarian driver. To be honest, I didn't know this. Oh, and Gabriel with the third best time at the moment. So Jasmine in the lead, 1.2 seconds in front of Guido, which is not the typical P2 driver I would call out in front of the race. So let's see. So I'm running a special livery for this race. So this is X-Skills. Let's have a look for this livery. Und einen wunderschönen guten Abend auch an den Daniel und an Dolly, um mal hier dann zumindestens, wenn es gerade mal passt, dabei zu sein. Oh, and it looks a little bit like the flag of America, which could fit to the circuit of the Americas, maybe. So, but we were just talking about the drivers. We have Lloyd Chapman with his comeback. I think he wasn't part of the first race. So, like Guido, he's joining the championship in the second race. Then, like we said, Popov and our current leader, only P7 at the moment, 2.3 seconds behind Jared. And then we have Westerhof and Mazur, the next Dutch and the first Polish driver. Jeffrey, Big Jeff van Buren, currently P10, another Dutch driver. And then one of the two, J. Martins. Maybe? I don't know. I'm totally confused, to be honest. But at least this should be Jose Martins and not Jose Martins Pereira Lage. And then we have Catherine Lane and VR6 Racing. I think it's another driver from Portugal. Just... it would be too easy if I could find the drivers in time. Okay, and the funny thing is, VR6 Racing I couldn't find at all. So maybe this is Jose Miguel Martins Pereira. What is this? And then we have Klonowski with the Audi. And then I'm not sure if we saw him last week. Let's take a look at the standings. Okay. Just for your information, Mr. Miguel Martins Pereira is VR6 Racing, so good to know. And did we saw Diego last week? No, we didn't. Okay, let's try to find him here on SimGrid. To be honest, it's more easy to find drivers at the Apex page. And I couldn't find Diego. I can't tell you anything about Diego, which is interesting. So maybe you can be part of the race without being part of... Okay, to be honest, I tried to find... Maybe it's this one? Yeah, I find it. Just wait, I just go to the Apex page. So, and now we are checking for Diego. And maybe we could change... Okay, it's a French driver. And it's a little problem to tell you his name. Bournisien Diego, aka Slim Shady, which is really easier than his real name. Okay, and then we have Casinela. I think this driver we already saw last week. But to be honest, I'm not sure. Oh no. Oh yeah. Just wait. I think it's the Angolian driver. Yeah. So Flavio Casinela. So welcome back to the first driver or guy, human from Angola I'm happy to meet. I hope it's right. Okay, and then we have Curva, which sounds totally wrong for me. I'm not sure, but I think it's... Oh no, sorry. Ah, damn, I'm so stupid. So... and he is one of the two AMG drivers. I think we saw him. Yeah, Bobby Curva. Yeah, like I said, a Romanian driver. Oh, and Archibald only P20. So we have 3 drivers with Lachko, Archibald and Kurva, who weren't able to set a time. And yeah, I think we have normal conditions for the start. So Jared with the pole position, followed by his former or maybe actual teammate. So we have still no teams here. Okay, so maybe no teammates anymore. Maybe this is this explains what happens last week. So yeah, I think we do a early commercial break today. Then we are talking about the starting formation. So just a little break, and then we are back with the start. Okay, now. So, and meanwhile everyone should be back. So let's take a look through the starting formation, beginning with Lachko with the BMW. Like Archibald and Corva, we didn't see any timed lap during the qualification by these three guys. Then we have Diego right behind the Audi from Klonovsky, and then one of the two Portuguesian driver, JM and whatever. Here this is VR6 Racing, and then we have X-Skills with his special delivery right behind Casinela, then Catherine Lane P13, the other Portuguesian driver, J Martins P12 right beside Mekmazur, and then we have the top 10 starting with Big Jeff, Jeffrey van Buren, Timo Westerhof, Arsen Popov, Paul Wiedler, at least P7 for the current leader. Oh, and this is so stupid. And then we didn't saw the last 6 drivers, which is Jared, Martin, Overtaker, then Guido, P4, Gabriel Lavuga, P5, and I think, yeah, we have, I don't know, was P6. This is so stupid. So now let's see if everything stays friendly between these two guys. Not only in the first lap, but also during the rest of the race. And we have a good view of this track here. That's not really much I can tell you about this track, cause I have a lot of problems with tracks without any names for the corners. So it's just number 1 up to number, just wait, number 20. I can tell you that it's 5.5 kilometers long. Yeah. Built in the 2000s. Nothing really special. And of course it's one of the Thielke tracks. And today I don't talk about Hermann Thielke. We have Overtaker and then the Porsche from Christ, followed by the Lamborghini. And I think it's Lloyd Chapman, it's P6. Yeah, P6 is Lloyd Chapman. Oh, and we have Archibald, the Scottish driver, in the pits. So only 19 drivers while the start. So, dann gucken wir wie gesagt mal, ob heute Runde 1 funktioniert oder ob sich die beiden, ja, potenziellen ehemaligen Teamkollegen heute wieder abschießen. Wir sind gespannt. Müssen jetzt aber gleich erstmal hier ab der grünen Flagge erstmal wieder an die Box raushüpfen, dass wir hier ein bisschen flexibel, was die Positionierung angeht, sind. Das ist ja eine Sache. Apropos, habe ich mich geirrt oder gab es jetzt letztens ein Update von Assetto Corsa Competition? Okay, and now we have the start of the race. And here we have the fight between the two Mustangs, and at the moment it looks like Overtaker is the winner of this fight, and Martin needs to defend himself against the Porsche. So at the moment we have Jared in the lead, followed by Overtaker. So maybe good news for Jared after last race, that it's not directly Jans behind him. And then we have Christ and Lavugger and Paul. I think he just get in front of Popov, but I could be wrong there. Oh, I think it's like, yeah, I think he needs to defend himself against Popov and Chapman. Oh, and Chapman on the inside. Oh, but too late. And now... Oh, this was close between Popov and... Oh, and their contact between Fiedler and Popov. And also... No, Fiedler and Chapman. Sorry for this. And another contact with with Chapman. So, and Popov and Chapman are losing a lot of places during this fight. So I think they are P19 and P20 meanwhile. Or maybe 18 and 19, but there are some more drivers with some problems. But we are going back to the top of the field, and like we see, we have still the two Mustangs behind the Ferrari, and then the Porsche followed by the Lamborghini. And then we have the first gap between Lavugger and Westerhof. Nearly 4 seconds between P5 and P6. And then we have Paul followed by Diego. Oh, and look at this. We have the Audi in the top 10, currently P8, right in front of Diego. So I think there was some trouble here in the first lap, and maybe it was the contact between the McLaren and the Ferrari we just saw. We have Martins on P10 followed by Curva, and then Catherine Lane fighting against Lloyd Chapman, McMazur P14 followed by Cassinella, and then we have Popov only P16 followed by X-Skills and Lachko. VR6 Racing on P19 and Big Jeff with an early pit stop. Interesting, I'm not sure what happens here. And Archibald, who is still in the pits. Oh, and Jans with the attack against Overtaker. So, no, just wait. Let's take a look for number 13 here, the second lap. Oh no. So let's see where he is able to overtake the other Mustang. And Jared was able to gain a little bit distance. Okay, at the end of the straight. I think it's the perfect place for the Mustangs to overtake. And you only have to brake in the right time, not like we saw it one lap earlier by Chapman, and so yeah, Martin was able to get in front. Not of his teammate, but in front of his carmate. Also, wieder normale Verhältnisse hergestellt. Vermeulen und Hürjans führen das Feld an. Da können wir ja beruhigt sein, nachdem wir ja letzte Woche dann schon kurz gezweifelt haben. So, everything fine. We don't have to be aware of something wrong in the galaxy, cause no lead by one of the two Apex guys last week. But today everything is fine. We have Jared in front of Hyans. So no reason to get nervous. And we have Westerhof P6, Paul P7, and then we have Klonowski and Chapman back in the top 10. So quite an interesting race here for the British driver. But maybe he's a fan of the English football team and he knows that we have only 1 hour left till the start of the football game. So, and he wants to be done early. At the moment he's fighting against the Audi. 2.7 seconds in front of Lane. But I think it's possible that this gap will get a little bit smaller. Oh, and it was like an invitation. No, like an invitation from Klonowski that he presents the inside line to Chapman, and this time he is able to find the right braking point for the corner right behind the long straight. But still the fight against the Audi. But now I think we have Lloyd on P8 and Klonowski back on 9th place. But the good news for Klonowski is the two BMWs behind him are really close to each other, and if they are fighting, they probably won't getting closer. So at the moment, not so much pressure from behind. Oh, but okay, it's pressure from behind. The gap is smaller. A gap is getting smaller and smaller, and it's not only the two BMWs. It's not only Lane and Mazur coming from behind. It's Casinela, then Popov, and then a little gap to X-Skills and Lachko. Then we have Cordova, Martins, and okay, we have the two drivers from Portugal right behind each other. Oh no, and there was a mistake by Klonowski. And so he's losing. So, and another problem from Popov. And I think it was Popov against Casinela. So I think we need to take a look for lap 5. And take a look for number 70 and number 33, for example. Oh, this was an interesting fight between the BMW and the Audi. With the better ending for the Audi. And then we have some problems. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the Audi doesn't like if you're turning left, right, left, right. So and now we to watch. Yeah, these two guys. Oh, and I think there was some contact from... Okay, this was... Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah. Ah, the good thing is I'm not the steward. Yeah, you can attack this line, but then you have to leave the space for the other driver, cause where should Casinella... What should Casinella do? Oh, and only 18 drivers left. We started with 21, I think. Okay, we started only with 20 drivers. So, and meanwhile we have a big gap between Jared and Martin. So Jared 1.8 seconds in front of Martin. But I think he's happy that he's not right behind him. Not only because of the situation last week, but also because I think it would be hard for the Pfeffer to stay in front of the Mustang on the... Yeah, what is it? Is it the Gegengerade? I don't think so. Yeah, the long straight at the end of Sector 2. And meanwhile it's more than 2 seconds between Jared and Martin. But also it's more than 2 seconds between P2 and P3, and also nearly 3 seconds between Overtaker and Christ. And Gabriel. I think he's fighting against Paul, not on track today. Oh, and we just lost Catherine with a disconnect. Really sad. Meanwhile, back on P19. Yeah, quite interesting that the Lambo isn't able to attack the Porsche here on the straight. And then we have another big gap between Gabriel and Paul. Oh, nearly 15 seconds. And Paul right in front of Westerhof. So it's fight between the British and the Dutch driver here for P6. And then we have Lloyd Chapman P8, McMazur P9, and Lachko. Oh, what? Okay, what happens here? Okay. I would like to tell you what happens there, but... Maybe... a toilet break. I don't know. But hey, meanwhile, X-Guild's back in the top 10. Yeah, last week P11, maybe it's a little bit, goes a little bit better today. Then we have Martins and Martins. Oh, this is really crazy. José Martins and José Miguel Martins Pereira. And the guy with the shorter name on in front. Oh no, and what happens to Martins? Am I stupid? Where is J. Martins? He was here a few seconds before. Meanwhile, we have the fight between Popov and Martins. Or VR6 Racing. Oh, and there we have Martins, so I think a lot of disconnects today. Really sad. Not only for the drivers, but also for us. Or for everyone. So I think Catherine with the disconnect, Martins with the disconnect, and at least one more driver, I would say, with the problems here today. So, and X-Skills in the top 10. Yeah, but what happens to Latchko? I'm really... Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what I am. Oh, and Catherine's wheel disconnected. Crazy. Okay, and I think Archibald also with wheel issues. So this is why Archie didn't start. Oh! And crazy. Good to know. It's a T150 problem. Good to know for me. And guten Abend, High Life. Oh, and we have not only the disconnect from Martins, but also the drive-through penalty right after he's coming back. So still more bad news for the number 722. And meanwhile there are no more fightings here on track, so we are waiting for the pit stop. Pit stops, maybe it changed something here. So currently it's a little bit, I don't want to say boring, but the big question is how many places is Jeffrey able to win after the other guys coming in for their pit stops. Ja, also im Moment hat sich das hier alles ein bisschen auseinander dividiert. Lavoga jetzt hier auch über 2,5 Sekunden hinter Christ. Sieht hier kein Land, auch nicht gegen den Porsche. Aber dahinter sehen wir auch, also die Abstände sind doch überall. Oh, and we have... Oh no, and... X-Skills, another drive-through, or it's the first drive-through for X-Skills, but the second in this race. But for another reason, so X-Skills with the track limit problem. Oh, and this in less of half of the race, so this means be careful for the next 38 minutes. Yeah, and he's doing his mandatory, not pit stop, but drive-through. Oops, no, sorry. Right now, and then we have Popov now on P10, and from behind we just saw BR6 Racing. And also Casinella. So both drivers with a drive-through are coming in to clear their drive-throughs. Oh no. And come on, we are... Sorry. And in so many races we don't have the time for the leader, so let's have a lap on board with Jared. After a hard race last week, it looks quite easy today, more than 5 seconds in front of his teammate. But the gap between Guido and Overtaker stays quite the same way. God, sorry. It's to apologize. I have to say it's really hot in Germany at the moment. So it's really hard to think, but who I tell you something like this, I think the guys from Portugal or France or oh no, we haven't an Italian driver today, but it's hotter there than here. But here it's the air is quite okay. I stop talking about this. And we have the third drive-through penalty, and this time it's for Gus Casinella, and it's the next track limits penalty after this one by X-Skills, and this means X-Skills will win at least one position against the driver from Angola. And it's between 6 seconds, the gap between the first two drivers. So when the gap between Gabriel and Christ, or Lavuga and Christ, or Gabriel and Guido, is getting bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, it's a little bit less than 4 seconds. But to be honest, I'm not sure. Okay, this is why. I was just a little bit confused about the two drivers are really close to each other, but this, I think it's not X-Girls, it's Martins. No, it's not Martins. Who is it? Is it Big Jeff? Yeah, it's Big Jeff. And let's see what he's able to do when the other guys, or guys and girls, the other drivers driving them, are coming in for their mandatory pit stop, like Popov. Oh, but bad news for Big Jeff. Popov still done with his pit stop, already coming out of the pits. Oh, and I think he was P10, so it will be hard for Big Jeff to get in the top 10 at the end of the race. Let's see how big the gap between Popov and Big Jeff is here after. Okay, it's not so big, so maybe he's able to stay behind Popov, or maybe he's also able to close the gap. Meanwhile, it's 2.6 seconds. Yeah, but Popov, yeah, with Overtaker right behind him. Now Overtaker right in front of Popov. But also Christ now right behind Big Jeff, so the two Dutch driver. But here's the perfect position for accepting the blue flag. And VR6 Racing coming in for his pit stop was P10 right when he's coming in for his pit stop, so maybe we just saw where, or just we will see where Jeffrey is right after the pit stops from Miguel Cordova and X-Girls. But like I said, I think he will be P10, P11. And Popov will get back right behind Casinella, so he will be P12. Oh, and we have Jurjans and Overtaker in for their pit stops. And Christ and Lavugger stays outside the pits. And like I said, Popov now P11 and Big Jeff P12, but we have Casinella, who needs to do not only his mandatory stop but also his drive-through penalty. And X-Girls P15 at the moment. Yeah, I would like to say one little mistake, but to be honest, there need to be at least 4 little mistakes to getting a drive-through penalty because of the track limits. Oh, and by the way, we just already lost the Audi. Quite sad, to be honest. So, and now we have the pit stop from Jared. And also Guido is coming in for his pit stop. Lavugger doing his mandatory stop. And let's see what Paul is doing. He stays outside the pits. We have Westerhof and Chapman. Oh, by the way, X-Skills P14 in front of Cordova with the pink AMG, and Chapman is coming in for his pit stop, and then we have also the Polish driver with his mandatory stop. Oh, and what we just what the I think it's not enough, but it will be enough. Maybe it's enough for one of these. No, it's not. But this looks quite close between, or maybe it's just that it looks like a close gap between Christ and Overtaker. It was okay, it's still 4 seconds, so not this close. Oh, and what happens to Gabriel? Oh, he lost a lot of time during his oh, sorry. Oh, this was fast. He lost, I think, 3-4 seconds during his pit stop. So again, not the best situation during the pit stops from Gabriel. Last week he lost 1 position during the pit stop, and then the second during the second stint. So let's see. I think he don't lose P5. But let's see, maybe he's able to use the second stint to get closer behind Christ. And then we have Chapman, but I think this could be interesting between Chapman, Westerhof and Fiedler. We will see what happens to between Westerhof and Chapman and Fiedler right now, because Westerhof is in for his mandatory stop. Because he is behind Paul, we can tell you something about the fight between Chapman and Paul. So if Chapman stays behind Westerhof, he should stay also behind Paul after Paul's pit stop. So let's see. So meanwhile we have most of the field in the right order. Oh, and look at this, Westerhof stays in front of Chapman, and so also Paul would stay in front of the number 29. So currently P8 for Lloyd. And this means Westerhof P7. Paul will get P6 after his pit stop. Then we have Mazur P9 for the Polish driver. Right in front of Popov. Oh, and here we have the fight. By the way, the gap between Guido and Gabriel is getting bigger at the moment, 9.5 seconds. So maybe we have to watch the fight between Lavuga and Paul. In a few laps. Let's see. So, and meanwhile we have Jared back in the lead. 7.3 seconds in front of Jurjans, who is 5.3 seconds in front of Overtaker, then 4 seconds up to Grist, who is gaining time against Lavuga, meanwhile 9.9 seconds. And I think then we have Paul right in front of Timo and Lloyd. And then we have the fight between these two guys for P9. Okay, by the way, Paul is 23 seconds behind Gabriel. So I think something crazy needs to happen that Gabriel is losing P5 against Paul. Also im Moment hier der einzige Zweikampf, der uns geboten wird. Alle anderen Kämpfe sind dann doch schon recht auseinandergerissen. Inzwischen auch Martins und Lane an der Box. So meanwhile, everyone did his or her mandatory pit stop. So and after this we have Jared in the lead, followed by Jurjans and Overtaker, the two Mustang drivers. Then Guido with the Porsche P4 right in front of Gabriel, who is P5 at the moment. Then Paul and Timo, Lloyd P8, McMazur P9 and Popov P10. And at the moment it doesn't look like he is able to fight Mazur. Then we have Big Jeff, Jeffrey Van Buren, VR6 Racing P12 in front of X-Guilds. By the way, there it is only 2.4 seconds. So let's see, maybe we are able to watching the fight between the two Ferraris. And then we have Curva, Casinella, Martins and Lane. And at least 3 drivers already gone. Yeah, one is the Scottish driver with his wheel issues, or because of his wheel issues. And one is the Audi driver. And to be honest, I don't know why. Maybe it was also a disconnect, or maybe it was another way of disconnect. So, still 19 minutes to go. By the way, meanwhile the gap between the two Gs, P4 and P5, Gabriel and Guido, are more than 11 seconds, but still 25 seconds between Gabriel and Paul. And Popov is losing against Mazur. That's the bad news for us, but the good news, not only for us but also for X-Guilds, is the gap between the number 44 and the number 78 is getting smaller and smaller, and meanwhile it's less than a second. So maybe we are able to watch a fight. Whoop, whoop. And now we are right at the back of the Portuguesian Ferrari. I don't know if this is the right English saying. The Fefe from Portugal. So, Great Britain or Portugal? By the way, both teams are playing or have played today. Portugal did his job already, and like I said, in less than half of an hour we have the next game of the English team. And at the moment it looks like Portugal is winning here today. Not really, cause at the moment South Africa is winning. And this is something they couldn't say about their football at the moment. Crazy. We have these 3? No, 4. And we only have 4 drivers who didn't have a national football team in the World Cup at the moment. These are the drivers from Romania, Poland, Angola, and what was it? Just wait. Who was the 4th? The number 4? Ah, Bulgaria, yeah. I think everyone else, we have Moylan, South Africa, Netherlands, Great Britain, Netherlands, Austria, Great Britain, Netherlands, Great Britain, Poland, then Bulgaria. Oh, and by the way, here we have the overtake, not from Overtaker, but from X-Skills. And who is this behind these guys? It's another yellow Ferrari. I think it's Martin's. Yeah. Ah, he's a little bit faster, but at the moment he's right behind. Or not right, he's a lap behind, and now we have the... Oh, and... Okay, for the first moment I was thinking that these are teammates, but no. It's not the same livery, it's not even the same yellow, so sorry. Oh, and Popov right behind Mazur again. And X-Skills is winning against BR6 Racing. So I think in the top 7 everything is clear. Oh no, and again a little bit too late here after the long straight, the McLaren. Oh, and we have a yellow flag, and I don't know. Okay, just wait. Who is it? Ah, it's Cassinella. It's the number 33. Oh, and I think was not only a little spin, it was also a little contact. Now this doesn't look really good, and this too. So hard race for the driver from Angola. When meanwhile we have P16 right behind P13, and now we have P4 between these two guys. And every time he gets close behind Mazur, Popov with a little mistake, which costs him a lot of time, in this case, well, at least 1.5 seconds. But the turn in front of the straight, he's getting very well every time. And so he's really close behind the BMW again. And let's see if he's able to find the braking point in this case. Yeah, this was good, and bad braking point from Mazur, and so Popov now P9. By the way, less than 3.5 seconds between Christ and overtaker, so Christ is getting closer to the second Mustang. And meanwhile, VR6 Racing more than 6 seconds behind X-Skills. I think X-Skills a little bit unhappy about the drive-through penalty, which costs him a lot of time, and in this case, right now, 2 places. He was P10, and maybe he would be P9. I'm not sure, but I think he was in front of Popov and Mazur. This means P9 at the moment. 3.4 seconds between overtaker and Christ. And meanwhile we have more than 10 seconds between P1 and P2. Also ganz vorne hat sich das schon verabschiedet, aber der Kampf um P3 könnte nochmal spannend werden. Ah, okay. Meanwhile, it's up to 3 seconds. Oh, and Chapman right behind Westerhof. What's going on here? Meanwhile, now they are fighting. So P7 fighting against P8, P9 fighting against P10, or I think it's quite the other way. Not P7 is fighting against P8, P8 is fighting against P7, and also behind these two guys. I think if Timo could choose, he wouldn't choose to fight against Chapman. Meanwhile, we have more than a second between Popov and Mazur, so it looks like Popov wins this fight. But still 8 minutes to go, and also Guido Again, less than 3 seconds behind overtaker. So, one little mistake, like we saw earlier from, for example, Popov, and you could lose easily 1.5 seconds. And to be honest, we already saw 2 track limits drive-through penalties, so let's see. Oh, and now Chapman showing... Oh! Big mistake here by the Dutch driver, and the British one says thank you and goodbye. Yeah, he just shows himself a little bit on the inside, and maybe Westerhof was abgelenkt. Was not focused on the braking point due this little hello from Lloyd. And look at this. Only 2 seconds left between overtaker and Guido. Oh, and this was 6/10 of a second only in the last part of this track. Ooh. Okay, the question is where is Guido able to overtake the Mustang? The crazy thing is he's losing in the first part. So let's see. 5 minutes to go. Oh, and Mazur again right behind Popov. Only half of a second left. Meanwhile, Westerhof 2.6 seconds behind Chapman. And here we have 1.3 seconds between overtaker and Christ. Oh, and here we have Mazur on the inside. But Chapman... No, Popov with the perfect reaction, which is no reaction. And is Guido able to set the gap under 1 second? I think we still have 2 or 3 laps to go. And yes, it's only 6/10 of a second between, or a little bit more than 6/10 of a second. Okay, losing a little bit in the first part, or in the first sector. Oh, this was perfect by Guido. Showing himself on the inside. Like we saw it from Chapman. But between Chapman and... No, but yeah, between Chapman and Westerhof it was at the end of the straight. So let's see. I don't think that this is the point where the Porsche could attack the Mustang without a little mistake from overtaker. But now this is the part of the Porsche here. This is where he gain the time. But is it possible to overtake in this part of the track? To be honest, I don't think so, but let's see. Ooh, this was close. Yeah, it looks smoother by the Porsche, if you know what I mean. It's like he is in a flow, and for overtaker it looks like work. Oh, I think there was a little drift by the Porsche, but I'm not sure. But meanwhile, at the moment he's losing a little bit. Ooh. That wasn't perfect. Okay, and I think we will have one more lap to go, cause where is... Oh, maybe not. So only half of a minute to go. So this could be really close, but I think we just saw another lap. Oh, and another drive-through penalty, in this case for Catherine. Also because of track limits. So 3 drivers with a drive-through because of the track limits, 1 because of speeding in the pits. And 1 lap to go for Jared, for Martin, and of course for Guido. I think the only one who isn't really happy about the extra lap is Overtaker. Oh, and there was contact between these two guys. But to our luck, it's not F1, so the cars don't brake together. I don't think that it's the right English saying. Sprecht zusammen, sagen wir in Deutschland. I brake together. But we also have to take a look for Jared, who is now in the last sector. I'm not sure if we are able to see the end of the straight. Yeah, okay. can watch it. Last chance for Guido, I think. No. And then we are jumping to Jared after P8 last week. Now his comeback. The other type of comeback than Guido did. But congratulations for the win after a hard race last week. P1 today. Congrats, and a big gap to his further teammate. I don't know if there are teammates anymore. Big Jeff finished P11, and then we have Fürjans in second place. And here we have the fight between the Porsche and the Mustang, but I think, yeah, this is done with 1.6 tenths of a second. Overtaker is taking P3, Guido P4, and then we have Gabriel with P5. And Corsi is in front of Paul. He's gaining some points against Paul. And then we have X-Skills coming in P12 today. I think he's not really happy. He could be happy with the race at all, but not with the drive-through penalty. Then we have VR6 Racing, and I think then we have Paul till the start of the race, the championship leader. But meanwhile, I think Martin is taking this job. And then we have Chapman P7, Westerhof P9, Kurva P14, Casinella P15 and Catherine Lane P17. And here comes Popov and Martins P16, Popov P9. So he wins the fight against McMazur, and McMazur the last one in the top 10. Yeah, crazy race with some problems by some drivers and with a great comeback from Jared. And so we have Martin as the new leader, followed by Paul, cause he is currently better than Jared. And I think Gabriel will stay on third place. Oh, maybe he is equal with Overtaker after this race. Of course, Overtaker now in front of Overbeker. Yeah, it's quite... I don't know. I think we will take a look at the points next week. And while we are speaking about next week we are on the best track of the world. Sorry, but I have to say this, because we are at the Nürburgring and not on the GP track. We are on the 24-hour track. Yeah. So I'm looking forward for this, but this is not the only time we are on the Nürburgring in the next days. Because this weekend we have the 24 hours at the Green Hell by the Switzer guys, or Schwitzer guys, it's not Swiss, sorry. And yeah, we are looking also forward for this. Also dann gleich mal hier auch der Hinweis auf Deutsch. Also wir sind nächste Woche dann hier auf der Schleife, aber das ist tatsächlich nicht das nächste Mal, dass wir auf der Schleife sind, denn am Wochenende geht's 24 Stunden über die grüne Hölle bei den Jungs der Schwitzer Racing League. Und da übernehme ich einen Großteil der Arbeit, also von daher gerne da dann mal vorbeischauen. Wir hoffen natürlich, dass alles stabil bleibt. Ja, und ansonsten bleibt mir nur noch zu sagen, goodbye and good night to everyone. I think we don't have any interview guests here today. Just let me look. No, but to be honest, I wasn't in the ready for interview channel. Yeah, and come on, I don't try today. So let's call it a day. I would like to watch the England game. So let's see you next week, or if you want, on Friday or on the week at the weekend, when we are showing you the whole universe of Schwitzer Motorsport. And yeah, good night und dann nochmal auf Deutsch. Also, wie gesagt, wer Lust und Laune hat, kann gerne am Freitag, dann sind wir schon bei der Schwitzer GT Masters zu Gast. Oder eben am Wochenende, wenn dann das 24er ansteht, da gerne einschalten. Und ansonsten, wie gesagt, gerne nächste Woche, dann sind wir auch hier auf der Schleife. Bis dahin, gehabt euch wohl, seid lieb zueinander, haltet die Ohren steif, bla bla bla. Ich gehe mir jetzt das England-Spiel angucken und drück England die Daumen. Bis die Tage. Macht's gut. Ciao, ciao, euer Vincent.